everyone. I am Dipali, and in our container series, the next topic we are going to cover is EKS, that is Elastic Kubernetes Services. So, before that, let's understand that what exactly Kubernetes is. So, Kubernetes is a open source container orchestration framework which is developed by Google. It basically manages the containers, be it Docker containers or some other technology, which basically means that Kubernetes helps you manage applications that are made up of hundreds or thousands of containers in different environments, like physical machines, virtual machine, or cloud. Now let's understand that exactly what problem Kubernetes solves. So increased usage of microservices caused increased usage of containers technology, as container offers the perfect tools and architecture for small and independent applications like microservices, and it eventually resulted in applications which are made up of hundreds or thousands of containers. And now managing this number of containers across multiple environments is a cumbersome activity. So it demanded a proper way of managing those containers. So, what container orchestration tools like Kubernetes offer? It offers high availability, which means that the application has no downtime, means it will be always up and running and accessible by users. It also offers scalability, means application has high performance, it loads fast and users have high response rate from the application. And the third one is that it offers disaster recovery, which means that if infrastructure has some problem, like data is lost or something wrong with the server, then infrastructure must have some mechanism to back up the data and restore it into the latest stage. So application does not lose any data. And all of these functionalities a container orchestration tool like Kubernetes offer. Now, let's understand the basic Kubernetes architecture. So, Kubernetes cluster is made up of at least one master node, and it is connected to a couple of worker nodes. And each node has a kubelet process running on it. Kubelet is a Kubernetes process that makes it possible for a cluster to talk to worker nodes and actually execute some task on these nodes, like running application processes, etc. Now, each worker node has Docker containers of different applications deployed on it. So, depending on how load has been distributed, you will be having different number of Docker processes running on worker nodes. In Kubernetes, pod is the smallest unit which you as a user can configure to interact with. So, pod is basically a wrapper for your container, and each worker node will have multiple pods. And inside pods, you can have multiple containers. Usually, you have one pod per application. So, worker nodes are the actual area where your application is running. So, what is running in master nodes then? Masternodes actually runs several Kubernetes processes, which are absolutely necessary to manage the cluster properly. And one of such key processes is API server. So this is basically the entry point for your Kubernetes cluster. And this is the server where all Kubernetes clients like UI, if you are using Kubernetes dashboard, or API, uh, with you can talk to. And this is also a container in itself. And another process which is running on masternode is controller manager, which keeps an overview of what is happening in the cluster. So if a cluster died, so if a container died or need to be repaired, etc., And then we have another process, which is scheduler. So scheduler, it is responsible for scheduling the containers on different nodes based on resources availability. And another important process on master node is etcd, which is the key value store and holds the current state of your cluster at any point in time. So it has all the config and status data of each node. And backup and restore actually uses this etcd process, etcd snapshots, to restore. And then another important component of Kubernetes is the virtual network, which enables the communication between master and worker nodes. So set of master nodes is known as control plane, and set of worker nodes is also known as the data plane. All right. So next, let's understand what is EKS, which is Elastic Kubernetes Service. So Elastic Kubernetes Service is a managed Kubernetes service from AWS. It manages master nodes for us, and all the necessary applications are pre-installed on EKS, like container runtime or any master processes. And it also takes care of the scaling and backups. And you as a user just need to create the worker nodes. So if you have like small team of developers, then it is usually a good idea to keep maintenance on this platform, so developers can focus on the application development. That is, they just need to create and worry about the worker nodes. And the key benefit EKS offers is that you have no control plane to manage, and it is secure by default, and it is very much optimized for cost. Now, if we look at the EKS architecture, so visually, we want something to be deployed, our application to be deployed in three availability zone in order to have the high availability. So we will need to deploy the master nodes in all the three AZs, and master nodes are generally the EC2 instances. And along with master nodes, in order to work our Kubernetes properly, we will also need etcd. So we need to install this etc. We need to create etcd on all the three AZs. Means we need to set up all these master nodes and etcd, which actually known as the control plane, by ourselves. And after we have set up the control plane, we need to set up the worker nodes. So we will create the worker nodes for our application, and that too on the three AZs, and then it may have auto scalings attached to it. So if you look at this diagram, then there are a lot of things which may fail if you need to manage everything by your own. And this was the case before EKS. Then EK, to get rid of this kind of problem, EKS came up with an idea that okay, Amazon EKS will manage all these control plane for you. It will take care of the master nodes and etcd, and like if anything wrong with your server, it will like take care of the scaling and repairing of master nodes as well. And then you as a user, you just need to take care of the worker nodes. Now, if we look at the like Kubernetes EKS architecture, so the way it works, that we have this Kubernetes cluster control plane, and then we attach our master nodes. Sorry, we attach our worker nodes, which are in different AZs. So we just attach these worker nodes to the this control plane. So this is the control plane, and this is the data plane. And then we have a kubectl process, which is directly running against the control plane. So now I think we have a fair understanding that how Kubernetes and how EKS works. So this is the time to see it in action. So Sandeep, over to you for a demo to see exactly how it works.
Hey everyone, in this demo we'll learn how to create a EKS cluster and how to run a sample application, a sample Node.js application I'll be running and show how to run in the cluster. Okay, so let's get started. First we need AWS EKS-CTL. To do that, search by AWS EKS-CTL. This is short form of Elastic Kubernetes Service command line. Just search for installation or just simply search for this. You'll find this one second link, and if you just scroll down a little bit, you'll find the option to install for your targeted OS. It could be Mac OS, Linux, Windows. Just select based on your OS that you have. My OS is Mac OS, so I just already installed it. Simply run this command to do the installation. Okay. Now let's come back to the command line. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so I have some files. I have very simple application to begin with. Let me show you the application. The simple Node.js application. I'm running the application on port 3000, and I'm just printing that simple hello sample app version 1. That's what I'm doing. And the Docker file also, again, nothing special. Simply I'm using Node.js version 14, and I'm setting working directory here, and I'm copying the packages first and then doing the all the dependency installation, and then copying the rest of the files and then exposing to the input and running the application. That's all this Docker file making the Docker instruction do. Okay, and we'll be using this Docker file to get the Docker image. Now let's follow step by step rule. Now I have created one folder called Kades, where I have mainly the Kubernetes Reddit configs. Let's click on the readme. So in the readme, first step you'll see the installation of EKS-CTL. There's you can do that by following the installation instructions. And second is creating the EKS cluster. To do that, we have to run EKS-CTL, then create cluster -f, then the cluster config, then the cluster.yml. Let me show you what is the file we have here. So if you see here, here we have that API version. What are you going to use here? Kind cluster config, name sample demo, region you have to mention here, and you have to mention in the node groups. You have to mention what is the name of the node group, what is the instance type. Now for the demo on the development, T2 or T level is fine. The production you select based on your actual requirement. Okay, so use some high level instances, not the basic level. That's what I'm saying. And desired capacity, I'm running 3. For Kubernetes system, you need at least 3. I believe at least you need 3. Otherwise, you will see issues that you don't want to see. Okay, some kind of like the resources might be not running as needed. That kind of issue you'll see here. Okay, so now let's run it. You have the configuration now. If you'd like to learn more about this, you can go just open a tab. Go to Google, search for AWS EKS-CTL, and you will see a page called EKSCTL.io. You open that, you'll find all the instructions, example, everything, all the documentation. You'll find it here, and it's very easy to do that way. You'll find all the documentation here. Usage, you see clusters config, mode in details. Okay, so it will be very useful in that case. Now let's go and create the cluster. So again, let's go to the readme and write. It will take I think few minutes. Let's wait for that. Okay, now so we have here EKS cluster sample demo. There is a cluster name in US West 2. The region is ready. That means we have our all the nodes ready. So if you go to AWS console here and go to EKS There is Elastic Kubernetes Service. Go to clusters, you will see it's active and ready. And if you go to EC2, you will see 3 instances running here. These 3 instances are the worker nodes of this sample demo EKS cluster. Now you can see one is initializing, and within a few seconds it will initialize and everything will work fine. Now we are going to run we have to to do the deployment. We need our image. Let me show the next steps, so you'll be more sure of that. So you'll see the next step is to create a ECR repository. We'll be hosting our Docker image and push the Docker image to there. So let's do that. Let's go to ECR. So you can see Elastic Container Registry. Click on that. So here we will create a new repository. Click on the create repository to be private. In the name we can give it sample app, sample demo app. We can say sample demo app. Let's create it. Click on create repository. So let's find the sample demo app, and if you click on view push commands, you will see all the commands needed to run the to push the image in the ECR. Just do run. This will use for the login. Let's clear this screen, then run it. After this done, we will run the second set of commands. Okay, login succeed. Now let's build the Docker image. Docker build -t sample demo app, and the okay, yeah, you have to go back and the root directory where the Docker file is, and if you run that there, you'll see Docker build is done. Let's tag the Docker image. You can see tag the image with the remote repo, and that's done. Now let's push the image in the ECR, and as soon as the image get pushed, you will be able to see the image here. Let's wait for that. So the image is now pushed. Let's see. Just come to this page and refresh the page in the ECR, and we get the image UI here. Okay, now we have the image. Now we can deploy our application. So let's see. So there was a Docker file. We are running application for 3000. Now come to KHS folder, and there we will find a deployment. Click on the deployment.yml. You'll see the API version where you mentioned the API version. This is particularly to the Kubernetes. Kind is deployment. We are going to deploy this particular Docker image. In the very bottom, you'll see spec containers. So in container image section, copy paste the image that we just pushed. In the image policy always name sample demo. You can put the name as you want. Make sure to match the levels. Okay, name container port, it should be run on 3000 port. Template you have used, so it will just match with the containers. And spec, you will see it's all normal, like any normal Kubernetes deployment spec. It looks like same, right? Now come to there, go to KHS folder, and match the steps. Kubernetes apply, in the deployment there is a folder name and the deployment file I've just shown. So let's do that and run it. Okay, it will take few seconds, but just to see that nodes are ready or not, you can just kubectl get pods. You can see it's not ready yet, so you have to wait for it to ready first. You can do like this. Okay, it's ready now. Let's stop it. Now we have the this ready. Now we have to create a service. Now service implies here how we want to access the application. Now you can see it here. We are using load balancer, and in this load balancer service we are targeting port 3000 and incoming port is port 80, and it will create the security gives everything automatically. You don't have to worry about anything. You have to run, just follow the steps. Kubernetes apply deployment service, and again this service, you see API version, you're mentioning the version 1. Kind is service, using supplying some metadata. Name again sample demo service, and spec selector, where that app we're targeting is sample demo. Okay. See, it's YAML. Okay, the service is also getting created, and to get the URL of the service, you can cube ctl get service. Just copy this and try to load in the browser. Now you can see sampler version 1. That means our application is now running fine. So you can see index.js file here, we are running sample and this version. So now our application is running fine. You may see it here, and that's it. Thank you for watching this tutorial.